Okay, so by Marvel, can you name all 5 characters?
No. I didn't even know this thing existed before it started getting advertised.
I know exactly.
Apparently, a friend of ours said that it has a comic book background.
It is Marvel,
which all comic book geeks would probably know, but apparently it has very little to do with the comic book.
From the movie, yeah, from what we saw, yes.
Do you know the comic book?
No.
Okay.
I know Marvel.
We are going to be a couple of informed reviewers here.
Maybe that ought to be the spin. 2 idiots that don't know shit talking about a movie.
We just got our opinions, you know? That's all you need these days, right? Is opinions.
You know, it has a deep-seated background in comic books. You know anything about comics? No, what's that?
I don't know. I actually don't like comics. I keep trying. These whole graphic novel things are supposed to be sophisticated, but I just find them a little tedious.
I think it's a fantastic movie.
But I really like the movie.
Okay, hold on.
What'd you like about the movie, Corey?
Sorry, remember this. We're gonna have to have a splash screen that says "Turn off phones." All right. Let's see.
What are you doing?
Karen just responded and told me she got home okay. Okay, there we go. Well done. I think I have.
Oh my god.
I like your chair.
Thank you. Thank you. I want any person who happens to randomly come across this on YouTube to admire the color screen in my brother's room here.
They're gonna get a cult. It's gonna be a cult following, and then pretty soon one day it's gonna be playing at Burning Man.
You know, there's a video game we just started playing, The Evil Within, which takes the first sequence takes place in this horrible mental hospital gone bad.
Okay.
The background kind of looks like one of the rooms in that video game, except with less blood, I guess. But
why do you have a blank canvas?
I know. It's a little unnerving.
You want me to move to another room?
No, I'll deal with the emotions.
I can make it just a white wall background.
Yeah, that might scare me too. A lot of things scare me. All right, so what about this movie?
So it actually is a really good movie. It actually is a very good movie. So I'll start there as you laugh. I've seen it about 50 times, literally.
Have you really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I finally hit my A-list the first time because it was just so damn funny and quirky, and I don't have the comic book background. Oh my, thanks, Jennifer. So anyway, just watching the movie, it was outstanding to watch different characters and see them develop.
Why?
But again, I don't know the comic book background side to it, so I'm watching it from the movie perspective.
How'd you see them develop?
Just as far as the introduction of the character and then developing through, more developing on them becoming friends. Throughout the, well, you obviously saw it, so more developing them becoming friends as opposed to constant enemies. So they start off with enemies, of course, and then they're going after, well, Groot, who is my favorite, and then the raccoon, which, darn if I can remember his name right now. See, this is where post-its are going to help that are out of camera view. That's why
we don't have to remember anything about the film. We're just
perfect. Okay.
Rocket's his name.
Rocket. Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I'm looking at IMDb right now, and I have to work on that better because I can't see all the clips. So anyway, so those two, and then going after Quill, and that turning into Gamora, and then turning into what's the big dude that has the body art? What's his name in the movie?
Oh, Drax.
What's
Drax the Destroyer?
The Destroyer. That okay, yeah. So anyway, the character development from them going from all the separate ways into becoming friends ultimately, and then fighting the Master Evil.
Yeah, and defeating him handily.
Spoiler.
Oh shit! Spoiler. Shit. We'll put that in the front.
Well, defeating one of two.
One of two? Who's the other one?
Thanos.
Oh.
What do they call him? Not the Supreme. He's the Supreme Ruler of the he's something of the galaxy. So I guess he sits on top of the ultimate pyramid.
Well, so if this was a video game, we would have destroyed the sub-boss.
Yes.
Route to Thanos, the big boss.
Yes, the sub-boss who was going after power, and lovely power came back to bite him in the ass and took him out.
It did not work out well for him.
No,
that's always the way. You know, can you think of a movie, a blockbuster, a popular movie, in which there wasn't this sort of journey towards the destruction of evil, or the bad?
Love Actually.
Okay, so we're comparing Guardians of the Galaxy with Love Actually.
Oh, you wanted to compare it?
Wait, what? Wait, what? I don't know what happens in Love Actually. Is there a doom and gloom?
I thought you wanted to. You were asking for a movie that did not have some kind of defeat evil theme.
Okay. Fair enough.
So that pops in my mind, but that's a recommendation. So Corey's recommendation, a 4. Watch it.
Well, you know, I'm imagining there's probably both major themes are in Guardians of the Galaxy, meaning the destruction of evil, and 2, the coming together of society in order to I mean, Love Actually is about relationships, right?
It is, but destruction of evil. Who is evil? I'm trying to think. Well, yeah, you can draw some similarities, but it's one of it's like a relationship where, well, in case you see it. Anyway, yes, you can draw similarities, but at the completely different scales. One guy's trying to take out planets, and the other one is just dealing with relationships. So,
well, what's the enemy in Love Actually?
Themselves, basically.
What part of themselves?
One of the there's many characters. One of the main characters, many main characters. One of the main characters is a older gentleman. He's probably, based on his kids' ages, I'm putting him in his 40s-ish, maybe late 40s. Kind of a midlife crisis thing. Co-worker who works for him, younger woman. They're European-based. This particular couple is European-based, where she is more flirtatious, knows his marriage situation. So he's, in his own mind, he's going through the turmoils of, I have this younger thing who's being attracted to me and pursuing me, yet I have the mother of my children at home who's, my rock and all that kind of stuff.
So is it sort of titillation versus family?
Yes.
Okay.
So that kind of, I'm getting older, can I get the young hot chick? And then the young hot chick comes along and wants the older guy. That kind of thing. So.
Well, it seems like there's this might be stretching things a bit, but in Guardians of the Galaxy, you've got these four, essentially narcissist, self-centered creatures, who are on their own agendas prior to meeting up with the common evil, and then they start coming together to not only coordinate their own narcissism, but to come together as a group. Because at the end, the only difference in what Groot says is at the end he goes from "I am Groot" to "We are Groot."
Yep.
Right.
And why is he doing that? Do you recall why he's doing that?
Well, because he's saving everyone. Exactly. He's sacrificing himself.
Exactly.
Right. So as opposed to them locked into their own personal agendas, he's the bridge to identifying as a member of a group. Right.
Groot himself.
Yeah, his sacrifice is that which brings them together in a way. They've already been coming together, but he's the one who calls out their group membership rather than just their solo identities.
Right, and building up to that, we're talking about family and Drax, like how Drax is saying, he's calling, when they were in the ship, actually, towards the end, and he's calling everybody now my family, or my friend and my family, and then Gamora encounters her sister. The sister he just called Gamora a whore, and she started giving him crap, and then she encounters the sister. The sister turns around and says a few words to Gamora, and then he shoots her with a bazooka, basically. So then it's like, no one talks to my friends like that, except me. So it's that kind. So they're building from family, they're building to friendship. Then you're right. Then Groot's ultimate sacrifice to save everybody.
Yeah, and to kind of weld everyone together in a way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Literally, he's surrounding them with his own care.
Exactly, and then they come together as a whole when they're actually connected for the energy, maintaining and holding the energy.
Right. Yeah, they can't do it on their own. They have to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you know Joss Whedon's movies or work much? He did the Avengers. He did Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh yeah, Avengers I saw. Buffy no.
He did Cabin in the Woods. Well, he produced it.
Okay.
Anyway, he throughout all of his work, it's constantly about constructed families. This sort of in which biological families are either toxic or destroyed or not available or not, something's wrong with them. And so he's always telling these. Serenity is another movie, the sci-fi movie. Right, all about these families that are constructed out of these individualists who not only have to come together for their own agendas to get fulfilled, but actually learn the value of community, of family as a constructed phenomenon rather than as something simply inherited. And you see that in Guardians of the Galaxy too, right? There's like the biological, the inherited. I mean, the family of origin for the bad guy, or for Gamora's sister, is pretty toxic and nasty. It's like a very authoritarian, bad father sort of family.
And that's why I'm still not exactly clear. Was it Thanos, the main guy who was sitting up on his chair and was trying to get the sub-main guy to get the stone for him? Was he the father of the two ladies or girls, whatever you want? Is he the father of them, or was it the guy that who's the main bad guy in the movie? Remember what he's called? I know, the one that had the club, the mouth
destroyed at the end.
Yes. Well, remember when he was summoned, and he ended up, I presume, killing that one guy when he zapped him with the energy of the mallet and broke his neck and he fell over.
Yeah.
I'm not clear if he was the father to Gamora and the sister, or Thanos is the father to Gamora or the sister.
Well, the Gamora was basically abducted by him and turned into a killer.
Oh, okay, so that's why. So Thanos is the one who killed her family. That's where she said, "Kill my family in front of me, and then made me what I am." That kind of thing.
I think that's how it worked.
Okay, so then the sister, I presume, is also along the same lines.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
So you have family bonds, which are by version of coercion, right? Coercion and oppression.
Yeah.
Versus the relationships that win out in the end, which are chosen, which are democratic, which are not fascistic and not power driven in their core.
Well, you have one sister who wants the father dead, and you have the other one who is I just lost the word. Turning against him, basically.
Yeah.
So the forced family is not truly the bond of the family; it's the facade of the bond.
Yeah. Huh. Well, it's a different kind of family. It's basically an authoritarian, patriarchal structure.
Right.
A
lot of similarities to society.
Well, I think we're in a time where so many institutions, including the nuclear family, the traditional nuclear family, are in rubble, and yet the impulse towards both community and towards family, hasn't gone anywhere. So we're left to, again, I think that's what this film and Whedon's films, kind of picture over and over, is these families which are constructed from the rubble of their families of origin, and they're not constructed just in terms of they're constructed forward in a way. In other words, they're progressive organizations rather than regressive. In other words, we don't go from the destruction back to sort of a warlord mentality in any of these movies that really kind of, none of these movies are holding up an image of good family as the one Thanos has created, or we just saw the trailer for the Mad Max movie, some kind of Mad Max scenario. They're always progressive in the sense like, okay, so this was what we got. How are we going to create a family organization that's loving, that's caring, that's mutually supporting, that's not toxic? I think these movies are presentations of that over and over.
But by force, you're saying, because they're not truly biological? So you're talking about create the family by force?
No, by choice. By force, Thanos is the by force. Right?
Oh, right. So you're saying because now they're together, it's by choice to how to make it work?
Well, it's by choice to even be a family. In other words, in a certain way, they fall in love with each other. Through hardship, through mutual danger. But they that speech where they're sitting in a circle and Quinn right is giving this speech he's really not equipped to give about
right. I need your help. He's going to be... It's Quill, isn't it? Isn't it Quill?
Quill is the lead character, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So prepared for this.
That's okay. This is the work out the bugs one. Because I want to have some stuff up too as a side note, just so you can do the reference and things flow. It's not like we're gonna watch a 2-hour movie then come home and regurgitate it verbatim.
He's giving that speech and he's just kind of testing out this whole new idea for himself of actually being part of a we, rather than the family of origin for him was a broken one. His mom died and his father don't know where he was. Oh wait, no, his father was some creature out in the universe. Right?
Yeah, that was the weird. They referenced him at the very end, and and at the beginning you didn't know. At the beginning, they made it seem like the father was the human guy who came out and got him out of the waiting room.
Right.
And then,
so he was another, like Gamora, he was another child who was basically abducted into a family. The pirates or the whatever they were.
Yeah, no, you're right. Who wanted to eat him?
Yeah, right. Yeah, the choice was to turn him into a pirate or to eat him. Yeah. Like welcome to childhood. It's no wonder he grew up as a narcissist and a self-centered kind of prick.
How about the foreshadowing of take my hand, and then she dies, and of course to the end.
Yeah.
Oh, take my hand.
Yeah.
Mom.
Do you find that cheesy or something?
No, it's the green chick you want to bang, but you're just going to grab her hand because you're holding an Infinity Stone.
Well, he's realizing a higher purpose. I mean, like, he'll bang her later, but in the meantime, he needs to do this whole we thing to destroy evil.
What's up with who's the main Ravager? I can't recall his name and all these characters' names.
The blue guy?
Yes, the one who raised Quill or stole Quill.
Yeah.
The little arrow thing he has.
Yeah.
How cool would that thing do you have?
I guess. How would you learn to control that?
Exactly.
And what if you sneeze right in the middle of the thing flying around, to plow through a mountain or something?
Kill a couple innocent people. Whoops. Still learning.
Yes. Sorry about that. Oops. Can you throw that back over the fence?
And of course the end when he does this. Yeah, really? Okay.
Yeah, I don't remember his name.
I'll have to look at. I know. What the hell?
Did you notice in the Avengers, which made $1 gazillion as well, it was essentially the same family story. All these disparate, self-centered beings, people and monsters, or not monsters, but superheroes and so forth. They have to come together to again not only work as a team, but to become a we.
Yeah.
In order to defeat the oppressive, regressive forces of evil.
Draw that to real life today, and we fight other countries.
Yeah, well, I mean, the same struggles are going on now. It's like what is represented by the ISIS group, right, in Iraq or Syria.
Yeah.
Is extremely regressive, old, oppressive. I just read an article where they were executing or imprisoning foreign fighters who wanted to leave the group. So talk about a gang mentality, right? you join this group, you can't leave. It's like the mafia. It's an older social organization that once you belong, you don't ever get to not. In other words, there's no choice, and there's no participation in the development of the ethos of the family. It's top down. If you don't obey, you get beaten or killed.
Well, that's perfect gang mentality for here.
Yeah. I mean, you see these social structures all over, and in these movies, it's interesting what's presented in these movies and what the cultural forces are that determine what gets presented. But it seems to be that this time in this country, is about trying to make sense of democratic systems at the at the family level and the small community level, and this sort of replaying of this struggle over and over between heroic people in pro-social relationships and groupings against narcissistic, power-driven social structures and individuals. I like the bad guy in this film.
Sorry, just thinking something.
Do I have to review that wise little nugget I just threw out there?
I was thinking.
Why don't you rewind the tape?
I was thinking. I wish I had a cricket sound clip. Sorry, I was thinking it was just very perfect. No, I was liking what you're saying, but I was just thinking from the asshole perspective of just playing a cricket sound clip. Sorry, I listened to too much satellite radio. I was trying to
that
find
would be the morning zoo response, right?
Yes, exactly. Oh, that's right. We're above that.
This is highbrow.
That's right. Is it Ronan? No. Oh, Ronan's the maid bad guy. Shoot, I'm trying to find the blue guy, the main Ravager.
If anyone's watching this, they're going to be shouting at their screen.
What the hell?
You guys fucking move on.
Peter Quill, Gamora, Drax, Groot, Rocket, Ronan, Yondo.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah.
Michael Rooker. Excuse me. Oh, I'm coughing the mic. That's a bad thing. Need to get a cough button.
Okay. Anything else about this movie we need to share with our viewers?
Yes. To anybody who's watching this, sorry. Oh, did you create the channel?
No, not yet.
Okay. Well, okay. If we're gonna do that real quick, let's see where the second one's coming in. So if anybody's watching this, they're gonna go a second one. What?
Oh my God! These guys have the inside scoop.
Okay, 2017. There's gonna be a part 2. All right, that's the projection. As I look at the screen, it's announced. July 25th, 2014. They announced it. Okay.
Doesn't it make you just want to go into cryo sleep for a couple years?
Isn't it gonna suck when we croak and how much good shit's still going on in the world?
Oh, I know. Heather would totally be on board with that. She hates the whole idea of missing the future.
I know. Just.
Our contention is that there's two groups of people. There's those who are basically either okay with or actively interested in dying, and those who want to live forever. And the live forevers seem to be much more detail oriented than the okay, just shut up and die group. And she and I split very clearly across she never wants to die, and I'm just like, yeah, it's good enough.
It is what it is.
It is what it is, because as we've broken it down, it seems to be that she is actually more interested in details, and I'm more interested in patterns. So now it really does look like a creepy mental hospital.
Oh, sorry. Here, hold on a second. That's my field of view. Door.
Yeah.
To here. So maybe I could start doing stuff like this. I'll have to change it. Here, does this help? I'll give you some light.
Oh my God, there's normalcy. Okay, so like I was saying, before I derailed myself, yeah, I'm not so interested in the details. Like what's much more interesting to me is patterns. So from that lens, I'm looking at the present and thinking you can kind of extrapolate all the patterns from the present. So, is there going to be laser guns? There's already laser guns, actually. Is there going to be, more manipulation of consciousness, more disembodied consciousness? All this. Yeah, but you can kind of predict it from here. Is there going to be more regressive, destructive behavior and cultural behavior towards other cultures? Yeah, but we can always see that now. So I'm like, the future, I don't feel like I'm going to miss much because I feel like I'm seeing it all now.
Oh, just the difference being I'm hearing echo. The difference being you just have cooler toys in the future as opposed to now?
Or not, who knows?
Patterned.
Huh?
I mean, you can see the patterns, what's old is new, all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah, so I don't get the whole thing, like, Heather's take is she wants to see all the new cool stuff. But I can't. I think she's able to see. I think certain people are able to see, like this pair of glasses as something very visceral and alive. And to me, it just seems like another iteration of a pattern. Huh. So maybe like a fundamentally different lens. That
she has the what do they call them? Like Bill Gates, they always touted for him having it. Visionary.
Yeah.
So being a visionary, it's like you could take all those patterns and pieces and put them together in your mind and kind of project or predict what's going to happen. Well, what may be out there in the future.
Yeah, but I think someone like Jobs, for instance, he seemed to really love design.
Yes.
And so I think for him, like the patterns were he probably had a balance of the two. But I think he saw design, meaning details, in a way that I don't really see that clearly. So therefore, looking into the future, I'm like, more iterative patterns. Like, what am I going to miss? And Heather's like, you don't get it. It's a bunch of cool stuff, and I don't want to miss it. I don't want to die.
Wow. Well, what about flying cars, and what about all that good stuff? I mean, is it just kind of ho-hum type of stuff?
Well, it's just, I mean, like, how it's not that much. We can fly drones around now with cameras on them. Well, we can actually experience that sort of individual flight thing, and we already got cars that drive themselves, and so
pretty wicked.
It's not, and we've got flying things and we've got cars. It's like, how hard is it to imagine that they're going to come together in the near future? I can already imagine this stuff, and I read so much science fiction, which is so heavy on the speculation, that a lot of these things are already have already worked into my psyche as real objects that simply haven't found physical form yet. So I'm like, well, yeah, of course that's going to happen. How could it not?
But she just wants to see the actual material side of it.
Yeah, she wants to experience the thing. She wants to actually. And I think for me, given my makeup, having it in my head is good enough. Like, the physical world isn't so interesting to me anyway. I'm like, more shit to get attached to that then's going to decay and disappoint you.
All right.
Where do you fall on that? Do you want to live forever, or are you okay with dying?
I would. Well, I obviously know the cycle. Obviously know that the whole death thing is there. I mean, we're elongating it, but we can't necessarily get away from it. I would just like to make it into the 90s or so, like old Grandpa did.
Why?
I'd like to make it into push that triple-digit mark.
Why?
Just to see what progresses over the next X many years. But it would be nice to see what's coming up. So if you could be around 100 or 200 or 300 years from now, to see what's actually coming up, to see what's actually materialized, to see what the planets and the Earths and all have that come together, to see what they've developed, what's there, what's next. I mean, look at how far things have come over the last 30, 40 years as far as technology. And we went from the industrial age to a technological age. So what's next? It's that kind of thing.
Well,
just see what comes up, how much faster computers get, how much more communication they get, what happens. I mean, are we really going to have what the hell's the name of the one in the Terminator movies? Something net. You know
Skynet.
where
Skynet.
Yes. So if computers can get to the point where they can actually learn and do their own thing, or they can teach themselves, to what point do they go? What's our next natural enemy type of thing, where this would actually help?
This is where I don't really, and I think it's a failing on my part. I don't actually really get. I don't get this the density of an idea like that, because to me what happens is I hold that and I think, well, what are the fundamental aspects of a Skynet? Intelligence, ability to process information, an agenda, and selfishness or self-centeredness. And I think, well, I know all those already. Those patterns already exist. So why is Skynet anything but just another permutation on a pattern?
But it's not. If we look at that specifically, I'm going after it's not human.
I would say the Nazis are not human.
Well, its physical form is not human, so it has no physical emotion. So it doesn't care if it kills a baby or if it kills an adult.
Yeah, that's the same as the Nazis.
What's that?
I mean, that was essentially the Nazis. I mean, it's a little more complex than that, but...
Yeah, but you have mechanical versus human.
I don't see the difference there.
Well, the difference is you have right. So you could have a different chemical makeup on a human that you could potentially have the emotion or no emotion at all. It could be just you have no feeling at all if you kill something or another living being. But from a mechanical perspective or a non-human perspective, you're just an amalgamation of parts. And from the parts, you actually have you become this thing, and this thing that just is going after its own agenda, whatever that agenda may be. And it seems like in this particular case, the agenda is to wipe out all humans.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have no. I mean, I'm sure even the Nazis at some point, even the most vicious of them, at some point had a glimmer of something that they maybe not kill somebody in their own family.
Yeah.
Or something like that. So there is the glimmer of a potential versus in a mechanical being that doesn't exist. It doesn't have emotion.
I guess I look around and look for similar patterns, and can come up with the patterns pretty quickly. So, for instance, like, what's the pattern for a being that acts in an unemotional or in which emotions don't influence its decisions and acts destructively and selfishly? Well, I mean, there's some expression, like some people on drugs, some sociopaths function like that, or not some. I mean, sociopathy is a sort of mechanistic, emotional functioning narcissism, and so I think, well, we've already seen that. It's just written in machinery and computers rather than in human flesh and nervous systems. So again, I think the way my brain works is I look for the pattern that already exists, and so I don't really see in the novelty. It's not like I would prefer there not be a Skynet, the same way I'd prefer there not to be more fascism, but it doesn't seem structurally that different. So I look into the future and I just see more iterations on the same.
I was just thinking, when you were saying something made me think about World War Z and kind of the pattern of all the difference in people coming together to fight a common enemy. An enemy that doesn't care race, creed, color, sex, anything.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think zombies are a great example. Yeah, zombies are a great example of this Well, I think it's several fears. One is fear of being trapped in a body that I think in one way it's kind of a fear of Alzheimer's. It's a fear of this being trapped in this body that has decayed but is still functioning.
Right.
Two, I think it's expression of this fear of regression to a point where we're only functioning at our most basic parts of our brain. So eat, kill,
survival.
Repeat. Well, I mean, the zombies is not even survival because they don't, right? They're even more base than that. They just eat, reproduce the biological mix. They don't try to survive. They won't strategize around a stronger foe or etc.
Well, they seem to go. Everything always puts it, regardless of the movie, it always puts them in a quasi comatose state.
Yeah.
Until there's a chance of some type of meal.
Yeah. Well,
then they seem to perk up. Otherwise, they just kind of seem, like they're
inert,
grog. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. There's like a spider who until there's food available is in a sort of stasis state, and then enacts, eats, and then goes back to stasis. It's kind of this deep fear of meaninglessness and pointlessness to life.
When you have no brain in your body's workings, and loud noises attract you.
Yeah, can you think of anyone that matches that path? Anyone you may work with, maybe?
I'm just control freaks. So, what are you looking at?
We're going on 36 minutes here.
Oh, you're recording that because I'm showing we've been doing this for an hour and 15, but that's more the general setup.
I'm just recording since we formally entered into our critique period.
This is episode 1 of 1.
No, we'll dial it in. We could do this.
No. I know. I'm not saying that.
We've got lots of important stuff to say. Anything you didn't like about Guardians of the Galaxy, which we ostensibly are talking about?
Coming back to that, well, obviously the one scene I really loved is after Groot took out all those people towards the end, and he turns around and does a smile.
Why do you love that? Because I love that too. But
it just shows the playfulness of him. Is basically what it is. Just so he saved all his friends, he's annihilated all these foes, and then he just turns around with a big smile, like, "Look what I did."
There's something so childlike about that.
Yes, exactly.
There's also some, huh?
Yeah, as you say, he has such the strength and such the ability to protect and defend and just annihilate. Yet you're right. He could just, it turns out like.
I wonder if there isn't an evolution in him too, in the sense that, kids can have a lot of joy in destroying spiders and torturing mice, right?
Yeah.
They don't. There's not a development of the capacity to actually empathize with others at a certain period, and so that he wasn't empathizing with the people he was annihilating.
No, not at all. It was almost like he was showing off to his friends.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, but without any, as if it was, he couldn't tell the difference between toys and other beings, other sentient beings, and so maybe his sacrifice to his friends was maybe that was a evolution in him.
No. Oh, for the We Are group now.
Yeah.
To that point, yeah.
Yeah. So,
well, and then the beauty of it, he's coming back. Obviously, he's growing back.
Yeah. Yeah. But developmentally, internally, I wonder if we tracked him further, if he would start developing capacity, not just to be attached to his person, as it were, the raccoon, but to actually start empathizing, understanding that other beings have internal lives, including his enemies, because he has a kind of primitivist, like my family, my group, and everyone outside of that is basically non-entities.
Right.
Yeah, so he can destroy all these, whatever they were, beings, without, not even without like a soldier's deadness, but with seemingly kind of an incapacity to understand they're not toys.
Yeah, I know. He's the 400-pound kid that.
Yes, yeah, totally. Yeah.
Shaking the cat too hard.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Right. Oh, look at the kitty. He's on fire. I did that. Isn't that cool?
They're chasing his tail. Well, no shit. You put kerosene on it.
Right. Oh, now he's black.
They just actually showed a scene where you're talking about that, where he has a flower come up on him.
Yeah.
And they're on the planet, the floating head in space.
Yeah.
So they're in there, and he sees a little girl, and of course all the destitute and everything going on, and he has that little flower like growing himself, and he gives a little flower to her.
Yeah.
He's 7 foot something and can annihilate everything, and she's just like this little, feeble thing in this vast this vast lawless place. So yeah, so he just showed the childlike part of that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. I didn't like the film when I first saw it because what stood out, it felt sort of plasticky. I'm not sure. Maybe it was just a mood I was in or something. I just didn't click with it too much. I mean, obviously it's one of these films where they have so much money that the technical aspects are so, beautiful, and that you can see all the huge amount of craft that goes into a film like this. That's why the making of it is so fascinating to me, to see all the craftsmen that participate in.
Did you watch that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
I'm hearing feedback too, by the way, on the recording.
Yeah, yours is mine clear?
Yeah, you're clear.
Okay.
Oh, now I can hear myself. Okay. Yeah, but I was trying to think about to answer your question, but while I'm thinking about, what about you? Is there a particular aspect of the movie you didn't like on the second time viewing? I guess
Did not like.
Yeah, is there like a part of it or something, or?
No, I didn't dislike anything, but the real that development that what we were talking about earlier, the development of the sort of assembled family and the cohesiveness, the cohesion, the coming into we-ness, that was really what made the whole movie for me. Like, when I didn't see that the first time around, it felt like a really competent popcorn flick that I could forget about easily. Unlike the Avengers, which that assembled family quality was present from the first watching. But when it was there the second time, then everything else gathered around it. In other words, all the parts seemed to cohere around essentially Groot's comment. We are Groot.
But did that only come together at the end?
Yeah.
So everything kind of seemed disparate.
I something about it started clicking earlier than that, and then just got kind of confirmed by that scene, right? And then by how they all had to join together to take down the bad guy. So that really sort of restored the whole film to meaning, and for some reason I missed that the first time around.
So is that one of your particular look-fors,
yeah,
or
definitely.
Something that a movie has to have, otherwise it's just a popcorn flick type of thing?
Oh, definitely. I can't even bother watching most films that don't. It's got to. I've known this for a long time.
That's going to be difficult to do a movie review.
No. Hating a film would be as entertaining theoretically as loving it. It'd be interesting to take apart a film. I couldn't even watch it. There's a film called Dogtown by Lars von Trier, who's this Danish director, who I fucking hate him and the fucking Cohen Brothers. Oh my god.
What have they done?
Urges on fucking humanity. No Country for Old Men.
Oh, I never saw it, but I got a block on that movie for some reason. Just for some reason, it looks like it just doesn't click. It has nothing fun to it.
Ugly fucking film, and wrong about humanity. Deeply, both of these guys. That's what I hate. These guys who are deeply wrong about humanity.
Portraying it how? Like in a very like everything's negative.
Yeah, basically.
Oh, okay.
Extracting the shadow aspect of humans and making that and throwing that in your face, and then getting usually kind of self-righteous about it. See, we told you people are bad. Does it happen to match our need to see people as bad? Well, yeah, but it's just fact. Fucking children.
I've noticed that for years, that there's even radio shows and TV shows that they try to draw out the negative. It's always about the negative. Always about the negative.
Yeah.
And it's just like, wow, are the audiences that stupid, or they just really want to watch something negative? It's just everything's bad and everything's this, and somebody's always doing that. I'm thinking, really, is that what you guys want to thrive on and live on? It's just,
this is, I wouldn't say this to a client, but sometimes with these guys, I just want to say, shut the fuck up and put your big boy pants on and grieve the facts of this world, and quit your fucking whining. There's an astrologer named Carolyn Casey who said, I forget the context quite, but she was saying, I haven't got much tolerance for tragedies. It's like the third act in tragedy and everyone dies and the curtain comes down. I always feel like, come back and tell the story keeps going after that. What happens next? Like, there's always something that happens next, and when you conveniently stop it at that tragic moment, and what happens in 100 years, and how it's bullshit and self-serving, We should have an episode on the Cohen Brothers. I would just rail from top to bottom.
Okay. Actually, I have my pen and paper here. I need to start taking some notes. Start doing stuff. Yeah, I need to write that down too, because it's certain we could do. Because there's Jerry Bruckheimer.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that he does I like, and some of it's obviously you would call just a popcorn movie, or it's just pure entertaining. It has almost no value other than the 90 minutes of entertainment.
Oh, I love Bruckheimer. Like for instance, Armageddon. I think is one of these great assembled family movies. I cried at the end. I thought, oh my God, the sacrifice of the good father, and he saves the whole community, and they all come together in appreciation, and the son is not oppressed by the father's power and gets the girl, and everything about human rightness is restored.
I haven't seen it.
Oh no! We gotta see it.
Okay. So what is it?
Armageddon.
What's the name of it?
Armageddon.
Oh, Armageddon.
Yeah.
Is that Bruce Willis?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Or maybe I have.
The comet. They blow up the comet.
Okay, I need to go watch it then. Okay.
All right. So.
Okay. Good enough.
About to die, so I gotta run and get the cord. So it sounds like we gives the Guardians of the Galaxy a very long way around. We both appreciate it.
Yeah, and I really can't think of anything bad about it. I mean, it has its entertaining aspect. It has a lot of comic elements to it and shit like that. But
it's a masterful piece of pop culture, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, without being just shallow, it's got this wonderful human core to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Okay.
We did it.
Woohoo!
Woo! Okay,
First
so
one,
episode 1 is done.